If you're a business owner, please could you raise your hand up? Why business?
For some, it is about earning an honest living through business. For others, it is about the opportunity to play internationally as athletes. But for all who are involved in the Market Youth-Driven Resilience Project, it is about building economic resilience amongst young people in northeast Nigeria against one enemy, Boko Haram.
Na zo ƙara ilimi ne akan koyon sana'a.
Graphic design and digital marketing.
Computer services.
I'm a farmer.
I have a private security company that provides security for wealthy and well-to-do people.
Information systems.
Selling pure water.
Cattle business.
I'm a poultry farmer.
Cakes, small chops. Name it, whatever it is that you can eat and is edible, just give me a call.
I think I've been into business for the past 18 years.
These are Nigerian youths. Like every other young Nigerian, they represent a sea of talent, an army of labor, and a reservoir of potential waiting to be explored or exploited. A bit of background. In 2014, Boko Haram rose to its fiercest prominence. Yola, Garkida, Biu, Mubi, Maiduguri, and a host of other local government communities in Adamawa State and Borno State fell to the insurgents.
Because we have lost hope since 2014 to 2021.
Guns, blood, and hunger. Those living in the conflict-affected zone suddenly found themselves caught in the crossfire between government forces and the insurgents. Casualties rose. With thousands dead and millions displaced, schools, hospitals, and most government agencies shut down. Economic activities grounded to a halt, and new IDP camps sprung up faster than aid agencies in the region could handle. Many were left to decide their fate, with young and disabled people the worst hit. By the end of 2014 alone, more than 500,000 people are estimated to have been displaced from their homes due to terrorist attack, with Cameroon, Chad, and Niger being sucked into what has now become a devastating regional conflict.
When young men and women do not have the dignity that comes from labor, from work, they'll find ways to draw that dignity from somewhere else. And where that dignity does not come from work, from a decent wage or a decent living, it could come from the barrel of a gun.
By exploiting the nexus between insecurity and the economy, the militants are suddenly presented with an unlimited pool of recruits, primarily made up of young, idle, and desperate Nigerians. The 2021 study conducted by the Atiku Institute for Development (AID) of American University of Nigeria (AUN) on behalf of the United Nations Development Programme (UNDP) Nigeria established a positive correlation between youth unemployment and their involvement in the ongoing insurgency in northeast Nigeria. As more youths in these regions are disillusioned due to a lack of economic activities in their communities, they are drawn to options that offer an alternative.
So the young people who have been born in this crisis, who are 13 years old today, they've never known peace or normalcy. So for them, crisis is the order of the day. Then the young ones they were young when the crisis started. They're 23 today, they're 30 today. They actually spent the better part of their formative years in a crisis. And so they don't understand how to live or earn or succeed another way than crisis, than conflict.
You're a 21-year-old boy or girl, and you finish high school or you finish the university. You have no jobs. Somebody offers you 20,000 naira to go shoot up a village, killing people that you don't know, never seen, and don't care about. You will take the job.
Other studies indicate other factors such as corruption, injustice, discrimination, and humiliation play important roles in driving young people towards violent and armed conflict.
Even in societies that are economically and even politically a lot more stable than ours, you still find people drawn to extremist violence. So you look at the pull factors, then what are those things that pull people into violent extremism? It could be religious ideology, it could be just the sense that they've lost faith in the system, and there's somebody else that can provide them with that means of hope, with that meaning that they've lost in society or even in themselves. And within the pull factors as well, you think about community, the sense of community that extremist groups give. That sense of, look, we are in this together, we're a band of brothers or sisters. And to that extent, they can create a common sense of identity. What gives them a sense of self? This is who we are, other than other people. So you find that, and that's essentially how it's been all through history. Those are the push factors, the pull factors, and that's what we're seeing in our society today, I should say.
Fast forward to 2016 and the dreaded group breaks up. Depending on who you ask, the division spans from ideological differences, leading to some members of the group adopting a more commercial approach to the insurgency.
And Boko Haram is no longer going into the villages and forcing people to join them, they just pay you.
Today, the fighting has mostly moved to the northwestern region of the country, where it has merged with banditry and kidnapping to create a lucrative criminal empire that would hold millions of Nigerians to ransom. Meanwhile, back in the northeast, survivors are forced to pick up the pieces of a broken post-conflict society, a metaphor for what is now Nigeria's largest source of unemployment.
With the way things are going on in the country, more especially in the northern part of Nigeria, northeast to be precise, things are very, very hard. Jobs don't come by very easily. To do any other thing now is so very hard. Everything is so hard. Money is so hard to find. You end up having nothing to do, and then there is all of these pressures on you.
Now we understand why young people join insurgencies, but what makes them leave?
One, two, three. Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3. Amen.
In December 2021, the GIZ partnered up with the EU and AUN to test a radical, never-been-done-before approach to solving this problem: social innovation.
The Germans came to us and said, we are worried that there are so many youth businesses in Yola and Borno State, for example, but we want to do something that empowers them, because like Lionel said, with the COVID, everything went down. Is there something, and most particularly youth businesses went down because they were not strong, and our School of Business and Entrepreneurship developed a solution to that, to say, let's go to these youth businesses, find out where they are, what challenges are they facing, and we at SBE, we can maybe develop interventions to help them. We package that proposal We had 5 objectives. We brought in the expertise of Vasi and his team, and they are running with that.
The theory is simple: to build resilience in communities in northeastern Nigeria by encouraging 1,800 young people between the ages of 17 and 25 to start or expand their businesses.
Why business? Why would this be like a means to, bring people together to like show forth resilience?
Business, I would say it's one of the most unifying factors or things in the world when you think about it critically. Now, people who don't like each other still do business together, and so at the end of the day, if you trade or do business, you're born to interact, you're born to learn. As a matter of fact, business is the reason why people migrate most times, why languages spread, why education spreads. So it's a huge driver of a lot of things, and it comes with its own negative factors as well. But in a conflict situation or in a very precarious situation like where we found ourselves in Nigeria or precisely the Northeast, the biggest problem with that was the disempowerment, the lack of opportunity, the hopelessness that people have felt for such a long time, allowed for negative ideas to fester. And this hopelessness is more economical than anything else. And we all know that being a bandit or a terrorist or a criminal, all of that is very risky work, very highly risky work. And if you are able to dangle an opportunity or create an opportunity that reduces that risk by nearly 50%, even, you have the attention.
The project director, Versi Sean, a social entrepreneur who is passionate about building young people, knows that he has a potential game changer on his hands. With 5 objectives and less than 6 months to test this theory, Versi and his team of young innovators get to work, testing, teaching, fishing, training, building and funding young businesses across 5 local governments in Adamawa and Borno State. The results speak for itself.
Ana koya mana yanda za mu wargaza injina, mu hada, mu tayar ya tashi.
Yanda zan tsara ta yanda zan nemi fili fiska.
We're going to promote our business through media platforms, through website and other ways.
Fauzia Hassan. But from the training I've undergone, I've seen she's coming up very far as if she has been doing this thing before, which surprises me.
So I never knew I could be here right now playing volleyball, because so far I think volleyball is the best thing that gives me joy right now. I just wish to go to places not even here, like outside country.
The way I saw her, she has been doing things. She'll go far if she didn't stop where we are.
One of the exciting points about it, I got the opportunity to pitch my ideas on the Hack Youth Security Challenge on my bid to win 500,000, of which I have done last week.
Graphic design and printing. I choose this business idea because it creates more employment to youth, and I want to take advantages of it.
So, this is stage number 1, preparing your fish after moving it from the pond.
Before now, I was scared of taking business risks, but as a result of this program, I was able to do it away with that phobia, and I've learned about rebranding. So before now, I can only distribute my products in Yola, but as a result of this business, I have rebranded and repackaged, so I do distribute to other states and probably to other countries in time to come.
I've seen it live and real. In fact, I would have missed a lot if I've not come here. Not just because of any other thing, but because of the information I've heard. I've learned a lot of things. I've learned about innovation, how you come about with new ideas that has to do with your business. I've learned about market research, what you need to know about your business and the world out there, and how you meet up with their need. I've learned about budgeting and costing. I've learned about how you grow your business. And one more important thing is I've learned about teamwork. I've met people who do the same business I do, and I've seen the need and the relevance of us cooperating as a body in order to meet the needs of people who have similar needs to our product. And that is one of the things I've appreciated about this program. It has been an exciting moment and a very good adventure, actually.
We are exploring the MTS Garikida.
Okay.
100 years plus legacy.
Okay.
Yeah, historic building.
Talk to me.
Educating people. So it's just so much to take in, and it's such a beautiful place. Being here and seeing like all the years of like training people, working with young people to build skill sets that are relevant, especially now in terms of like post-conflict rebuilding.
At this center alone, we have 100 trainees who are on the refresher vocational skills training.
Amazing. Wow.
50-50. 50 male, 50 female.
Picture of this S4D is, as our youth are engaged between the ages of 17 and 25 and are trained in business, trained in sports, the spirit of sportsmanship embedded in them will also help them carry out their businesses very well. It will reduce the social vices we have around because they are in their most energetic age. And the MDYRP S4D program is really converting that energy into better use.
In addition to starter packs and other resources, each beneficiary gets a new bank account to enable them receive their startup capital.
So we actually met with the bank management, and then we created all the beneficiaries. We open an account for them. All the beneficiaries, they have an account, and then we make sure that apart from that, they all have like an identity number. All the beneficiaries to their locations. They have to sign. There's what we call an attendance sheet. They have to sign. They have to put their phone numbers. We know their addresses. The advantage is to bring them into the financial inclusiveness. Some of them, and also it's an opportunity for them to access soft loans from those banks. And these are the agreements that we made with the bank. They also have to provide, and that is the added advantage that the bank also have to provide. And in such a way, the bank also, they are also being advertised. There are certain areas too whereby they can also benefit with this arrangement. So at all costs, we have to make sure that the money gets to the beneficiary, and these are some of the measures that we have taken. So even after the project, we have monitors that have to go around to confirm that yes, the beneficiaries are actually making use of those starter packs, as we call them, or the livelihood support items.
Your financial history or your credit history is very, very important. So banks will be telling you here to apply for loans, the only thing they will look at is your account. They will look at the history of your account. They look and see if money comes in and goes out of your account. They look and see if you've taken loans in the past and if you paid. And these are the things that they will use to qualify whether they can borrow you money.
From the communication aspect of the project implementation, we are trying to tell the story by communicating the dots between businesses, existing businesses, non-existing businesses, and how much impact have we made from the institute down to the grassroots, which is the beneficiaries. How many students are you training on this?
They're 10 in number.
They're 10 in number.
Yeah.
How do you see their performance?
They're trying well.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
They're learning. So what are they learning? What type of skills are they learning?
Now we are just doing installation. So yesterday we have done two-way switch. That's surface wiring. So today we are doing conduit wiring. So now we just want to do one bedroom. So we just want to do wiring it and the security light.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a mix of practical and theory.
Yeah, we are just waiting there. Both the electronics and the electrical. Because this is consists of two departments, electrical and electronics. So this one that we're doing now is electrical. So this one is an electrical workshop. The other workshop there is electronics. Yeah.
Okay, and you're handling both the electrical
and both the theory and the practical. Yeah.
So do you think the project, the MDYRP project, is giving you enough support to support
they
these
give us
beneficiaries?
enough support for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how to wear a house, but I'm here now for 2 weeks. I learn more and more, even how to wear a complete safe content and how to make some wearing in that room again, new brand of wearing, like two-way switch. If you enter a room, you can on it when you are entering a room, and when you go back into your bedroom, you may switch it off and you may use that two-way still again. When you on the security light, when you are in your bedroom, you may even off the security light. So I have learned more about that on it.
My main focus is that I'm trying all my possible best to give them the preliminary aspect of it so that they will be able to start up what is expected of them. I'm pretty sure that after the program that will be ending tomorrow, I'm very sure that when the students go outside there, they'll be able to perform what is expected of them.
And this is our last week of major trainings across all 5 components. So I'm visiting Garkida today, and hopefully we'll proceed to BU tomorrow to also check on how things are progressing on that end. And after we're done, we're coming like towards the end and wrapping up all the trainings and capacity building for 1,800 beneficiaries across the 5 locations in Borno and here in Adamawa State.
I must commend your team for this implementing this short project. I can imagine spending about €1 million in less than 6 months. This is quite, and you guys are on target.
Well, thank you so much, and I thank everybody who's been involved in this important project, but I really thank GIZ, or GIZ as you say here, for their support of not just AUN, but for youth. As you just said, this project is about market-driven youth resilience. It builds on a very important project that AUN coordinated, building resilience through sustainable agriculture. So I really honor GIZ for this focus, both on sustainable agriculture, but particularly on youth resilience. Before I talk a little bit more about that, though, I think it's important to understand where AUN fits in this. We're not a regular university, as you well know, right? Yeah. Our mission is to be a development university, and we think about that every day. It's not just a mission that we wrote and we put in a drawer, right? Our goal is to make sure 2 things happen out here in Yola, in Northeast Nigeria. Great students like you, Deborah, are ready for a new world. You're graduating at a very different time, a special moment in history. Your country will be the 3rd largest in the world. So we need to make sure you're prepared for that leadership and for the challenges that surround us, right? A very fast-growing country means you have more young people than almost any country in the world. Most of them don't have the opportunities of our AUN students. They don't have income, they don't have education, they don't have access to healthcare. So it's really important that AUN as a development university not only prepares students like you to lead this big country, but as our founder, Atiku Abubakar, said when I was first hired at AUN, he said, you make sure those young people are ready to be leaders, but you also have an impact in Yola, in the region, and in the country. That's what it means to be a development university. So as you well know, our education isn't just theoretical. All of you are required to do community development courses. There's been one through this project with market-driven youth resilience, right? So we're trying to connect what you are learning about in the classroom with what is happening right outside our doors, with things like Feed and Read, with out-of-school children. So it really gets back to this incredible partnership that GIZ has built with us, starting with sustainable agriculture, now focused on market-driven youth resilience. I'm really pleased with the components. The boot camp is very important, because young people who haven't had formal education, they still have great ideas. So let's work with them to find those ideas and make them reality. I'm particularly pleased with the Sports for Development. Our viewers may not know that during the height of the insurgency, when this university fed 300,000 IDPs, internally displaced people, who came to Yola, we did many other things. We ran Peace Through Sports that was started not only by our colleagues, but my daughter, who's a runner. So I'm particularly proud of that. And what we did there was bring Christian and Muslim youth together to play sports together with the peace curriculum. This is more sophisticated. The field is now called sports for development, but let's get back to the basic premise. This is about youth. This is about the future of your country, which is very young. The agricultural component of this project is critically important. Why? Because we live in a time and a place of food insecurity. If you followed the debate and the data recently, this region, this part of the world, first of all, is most impacted by climate change, which means we have an enormous problem with food security or food insecurity at the moment. So again, I think the GIZ folks who designed this project really hit all the major components that we're concerned about, that we try to work on every day at this university, and we're really grateful for this partnership. I would also like to say that in the first project that they funded, GIZ also funded support for our Chibok women, and we know they're not girls, right? I hope no one ever calls them Chibok girls again. They are smart, strong, resilient women. And GIZ provided support for psychosocial support for them, and we're deeply grateful for that. So we're proud of this partnership, and we're working very hard, not just to accomplish the goals of the project, but to go beyond that.
With poor government interventions, climate change and COVID-19 all playing their part, the race for social transformation in the Northeast is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And whether Versi and his gang of change makers will succeed is a different story. What is clear, however, is that guns and bombs alone will not solve the crisis in the Northeast. Business as it is becomes existentially important to post-conflict regions like Northeast Nigeria.
Statistics and data have shown all over the world, wherever there are programs that get youth off the streets, crime, violence, and terrorism drops tremendously.
What we need to do more about this, I think we have to expand the number of beneficiaries, if possible, if funding permits. Because I see a lot of people on the street, a lot of kids on the street that need to be part of this program. I'm so happy that I'm part of this, and I can see so many changes among them. Those who couldn't stand and talk to people are today team leaders in this S4D. So I'm very happy for this, and I look forward to more of this program.
It will take development universities, design thinking labs, co-creation spaces, business incubators, and a culture that pushes the boundaries of critical thinking and innovation, netted into the core part of everyday living of not just people in the Northeast, but Nigeria as a whole. In the meantime, it is up to the now empowered, the resilient 17 to 25-year-olds to build the next unicorns of Africa. And to ensure sustainability, the MDYRP Tracer Analyst now has an important job ahead.
Normally, a tracer is done after you finish any project, right? So I'm not part of it right now. I'm just developing how it is going to be done. Talking to the people that I'm supposed to collect data from, because I'm supposed to collect baseline data to know exactly where those people are or where when it started. So that by the time I go back to the field to see where they are right now, to now be able to compare what has been gained, right? So that's the concept, so that you can appropriately know that, okay, yes, these people that did not have businesses at first now have businesses, right? These people that had businesses at first but it was not going fine, now they've actually improved, right? And everything is due to what they gained from this particular project, either it's skills or those startup packs. If you have been doing all these things and you've not started, we also want to know why, right? Why have you not started this? What is wrong? So these are the things that we actually trace. And what Dr. Libantu was saying was, sometimes we trace the differences in the male and also other counterparts to actually see why is it that female are the ones that are doing this business more. They are the ones that probably gain these skills more, or they are the ones that are sustaining whatever businesses that they're actually doing right now. So that's what this story is actually all about.
My advice to young youth out there is that please, like, let me use my mother tongue, like, ba arena sana'a. Whatever it is you can do to earn something, please do it, because it's worth it.
If you have any passion to do any business like buy and sell, please do it.
They should try and get a mentor, someone that will tutor them into what they're going to do and how they will go about their business.
They should not sit down and be looking for people to give them free money.
I started with selling pure water, ice block, kunu, stuff like that. And today I'm where I am. So do not despise your little beginning and do not be afraid to start up a business.
So it may not look like it at the start, but if you're resilient and you're determined to grow, there's always an opportunity to grow. In fact, the world out there needs your service. People will always pay for your value. What you are willing to offer, what you have to offer is what people demand. The world is too busy for people who doesn't have value to offer. So if you don't have a value to offer, the world may not know you. But if you want to go far in such business, it doesn't matter the kind of business you do. If you are determined and focused, you have a dream, don't work to your dream and achieve it. I think that's the most important thing.
In one word, I would describe MDYRP as a game changer.
Empowering,
interesting people,
innovation,
entrepreneurship,
financial support,
development,
empathy,
amazing and
challenges,
fascinating,
peace,
and connecting ideas to solutions.